Your life will only be as organized as your priorities. Ask yourself what truly matters to me. Your time, energy, and attention are limited resources. Stop spending them on things that don't align with your purpose. Write down your goals, identify your non-negotiables, and focus on what moves your life forward. When priorities are clear, decisions become easier and peace becomes natural. Your life will never be in order until your priorities are. You can be busy every day, exhausted every night, and still be moving nowhere. Activity is not the same as progress. Many people confuse motion with direction, and that confusion is the reason they feel lost. When everything feels important, nothing truly is. That is why the first and most powerful act of putting your life in order is deciding what matters and what does not. Priorities are not what you say you value, they are what you protect with your time, your energy, and your attention. Look at how you spend your days, and you will discover what truly governs your life. If your schedule is full but your soul feels empty, it is because your priorities are misaligned. You are investing in things that do not give you returns, and neglecting what could change your future. Order begins the moment you choose intentionally instead of reacting emotionally. You must learn to say no without guilt. Every yes you give to something unimportant is a betrayal of something essential. Time is the only currency that never comes back, and yet people waste it as if it were infinite. They give hours to distractions, to meaningless conversations, to pleasing others, and then wonder why their dreams remain untouched. When you define your priorities, you stop living for approval and start living with purpose. Defining priorities requires brutal honesty. You must ask yourself uncomfortable questions. What do I want my life to look like in 5 years? What kind of person do I want to become? What habits are helping me? And which ones are quietly destroying me? Many avoid these questions because clarity demands responsibility. Once you know what matters, you can no longer pretend you don't know what to do. Clarity removes excuses. Your priorities should be few but powerful. A life with too many priorities is a life without focus. Choose what deserves your best energy, not your leftovers. Your health, your growth, your values, and your purpose should never be optional. When these are not prioritized, everything else collapses sooner or later. A tired body cannot sustain a strong dream. A distracted mind cannot build a meaningful future. Putting your life in order means aligning your daily actions with your highest values. It is not enough to dream big if you live small every day. The smallest choices reveal the truth about your priorities, what you do in the morning, what you consume mentally, who you listen to, and how you react under pressure, all expose what truly matters to you. Order is not created in dramatic moments. It is built quietly in daily discipline. You must also understand that priorities change with seasons. What was important yesterday may not be important today, and clinging to outdated priorities creates inner conflict. Growth demands adjustment. Let go of what no longer serves your future, even if it once defined your past. There is no shame in evolving. The real tragedy is staying loyal to a version of yourself that no longer exists. When priorities are clear, peace follows. You stop feeling overwhelmed because you know where to focus. You stop comparing yourself to others because you are committed to your own path. You stop chasing everything and start building something. Order brings calm, not because life becomes easier, but because your decisions become stronger. Defining your priorities is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that your life has meaning and direction. It is choosing depth over noise, purpose over popularity, and long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. When you put your priorities in order, you put your life in order. And once your life has direction, no chaos can permanently destroy you. Your life will never change the moment you complain. It will change the moment you take responsibility. Responsibility is not a burden, it is power. As long as you believe that your circumstances control you, you will remain trapped in the same cycle. But the instant you accept that your life is the result of your choices, everything shifts. You stop being a victim of the world and become the architect of your future. Many people give their power away without realizing it. They blame their past, their parents, their economy, their relationships, their luck. Blame feels comfortable because it removes pressure, but it also removes possibility. If everything is someone else's fault, then nothing is in your control. Responsibility, on the other hand, is uncomfortable because it forces you to look in the mirror. It demands honesty, it demands maturity, and it demands courage. Taking responsibility does not mean denying pain or pretending life is fair. It means understanding that even when you did not choose what happened to you, you always choose how you respond. You cannot control every storm, but you can decide whether you will learn to build stronger shelter or keep cursing the rain. Responsibility is not about perfection, it is about ownership. When you take responsibility, excuses lose their power. You stop saying I can't and start asking how can I? You stop waiting for motivation and start creating discipline. You understand that no one is coming to save you, and instead of feeling abandoned, you feel awakened. This realization is not cruel, it is liberating. It means your future is not dependent on permission, approval, or ideal conditions. Responsibility also means accepting your mistakes without self-destruction. Many confuse responsibility with self-punishment, but they are not the same. Beating yourself up keeps you stuck in the past. Learning from your errors moves you forward. Growth begins when you say, I made a wrong choice and I will make a better one next time. That sentence alone can change a life. Order cannot exist where accountability is absent. If you want clarity, you must stop lying to yourself. If you want progress, you must stop negotiating with your own standards. Responsibility is the foundation of discipline, and discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Without it, dreams remain fantasies. Taking responsibility also means setting boundaries. You cannot control others, but you can control what you tolerate. When you accept responsibility for your peace, you stop allowing chaos into your life. You choose your environment carefully. You protect your time. You stop explaining yourself to people who do not respect your growth. This is not arrogance, it is self-leadership. There is a moment in every person's life when they must decide whether they will continue blaming the world or start building themselves. That moment is not dramatic, it is quiet. It happens when you wake up tired of repeating the same story. When you realize that waiting has cost you more than trying ever could. Responsibility begins in that silence. When you fully accept responsibility, fear loses its grip. Failure no longer defines you, it teaches you. Rejection no longer stops you, it redirects you. You become resilient, not because life becomes easier, but because you become stronger. Order enters your life the moment you stop demanding fairness and start demanding excellence from yourself. Taking responsibility is the most radical act of self-respect. It is saying, this is my life and I will not waste it. And when you live from that place, no matter how slow the progress, you are always moving forward. Order in your life is not created by sudden inspiration. It is built through what you repeat when no one is watching. Habits are the invisible architecture of your destiny. You may not notice them day by day, but over time they shape your character, your confidence, and your results. If your life feels out of control, it is not because you lack potential, but because your daily habits lack direction. Many people wait for motivation to change, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes with emotions, circumstances, and mood. Habits, on the other hand, remain even when motivation disappears. That is why discipline is not an act of cruelty toward yourself, it is an act of love. When you build habits that serve you, you are choosing your future over your comfort. Every habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. The way you wake up, the way you speak to yourself, the way you manage your time, and the way you respond to stress all reinforce an identity. If you constantly delay, you become someone who doubts. If you consistently show up, you become someone who trusts themselves. Habits are not about intensity, they are about consistency. You do not need to change everything at once. In fact, trying to do so often leads to failure. Order grows from small, intentional actions repeated daily. A few minutes of focus each day will always defeat hours of chaos once a week. Great transformations begin with simple commitments honored consistently. What seems insignificant today becomes unstoppable tomorrow. Habits also bring stability in uncertain times. When life feels unpredictable, routines become anchors. They remind you that even when the world is unstable, you can still choose structure. A morning routine, a moment of reflection, physical movement, or learning something new each day gives your mind a sense of control. This control is not about dominance, it is about direction. You must also understand that bad habits are not random. They exist because they serve a purpose, often emotional. Procrastination protects you from fear. Distraction numbs discomfort. Overworking hides emptiness. To change a habit, you must first understand what it is trying to give you. Replace it. Do not just remove it. Trade what harms you for what strengthens you. Consistency builds self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you break one, doubt takes root. Order in your life is not about rigid schedules, it is about trust. When you trust yourself, decisions become easier and chaos loses its influence. You stop negotiating with your potential and start honoring it. Habits also create momentum. Once you experience progress, even small progress, your mind begins to believe in possibility again. That belief fuels action, and action fuels results. This cycle is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary change, not through talent alone, but through disciplined repetition. Building habits requires patience. You will fail. You will skip days. You will feel like quitting. That does not mean you are weak, it means you are human. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not perfection, but persistence. Return to your habits without shame. Restart without drama. Progress is not erased by a pause unless you allow guilt to stop you. When your habits are aligned with your values, life begins to feel lighter. You no longer rely on willpower to do what matters. It becomes part of who you are. Order emerges naturally, not because life becomes simple, but because you become intentional. And when intention guides your habits, your life slowly but surely falls into place. You cannot put your life in order while holding on to what poisons it. Chaos often survives not because we lack strength, but because we lack the courage to let go. Toxicity is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it is subtle, familiar, and disguised as comfort. It lives in relationships that drain you, environments that limit you, and thoughts that quietly sabotage your confidence. If you want order, you must create space, and space is created by elimination. Many people stay surrounded by what hurts them because it feels familiar. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar growth. They tolerate disrespect, negativity, and emotional exhaustion because they fear loneliness, judgment, or change. But what you tolerate teaches others how to treat you, and it teaches you how much you believe you deserve. Order begins the moment you decide that your peace is not negotiable. Eliminating toxicity does not mean becoming cold or arrogant. It means becoming conscious. It means recognizing that not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people are not meant to walk with you forever. They are meant to teach you something and then be released. Holding on to everyone, regardless of how they affect you, is not loyalty, it is self-betrayal. Toxic environments also keep you small. A place where growth is mocked, ambition is criticized, and discipline is discouraged will slowly erode your standards. You may not notice it at first, but over time you begin to shrink your dreams to fit the room you are in. Order requires environments that challenge you, not ones that numb you. See, change the room, and you change the conversation. Change the conversation, and you change your life. Not all toxicity comes from others. Some of it lives inside you. Negative self-talk, constant comparison, and unresolved resentment create inner chaos. You cannot escape your own mind, so you must clean it. Speak to yourself with truth instead of cruelty. Release grudges that keep you tied to the past. Forgiveness is not about excusing what hurt you, it is about freeing yourself from carrying it. Eliminating toxicity also means setting boundaries without apology. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors with locks. They allow you to choose who enters your life and under what conditions. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will resist them, but that resistance is confirmation, not a warning. You are not responsible for managing other people's reactions to your self-respect. Distractions are another form of toxicity. Endless scrolling, constant noise, and overstimulation keep you disconnected from yourself. Silence feels uncomfortable because it forces you to face your thoughts. But clarity is born in quiet. When you remove unnecessary noise, you begin to hear your intuition again. Order requires moments of stillness where you can reflect, reset, and realign. Letting go is painful, but staying stuck is more painful. Every toxic attachment comes with a cost, and that cost is usually paid in peace, focus, and time. Ask yourself honestly, what is this taking from me? If the price is your mental health, your self-worth, or your future, then it is too expensive. When you eliminate what drains you, you make room for what strengthens you. New energy enters your life. Creativity returns. Motivation rises naturally. Order does not come from adding more, it comes from removing what does not belong. You do not need to fix everything at once. Start with one relationship, one habit, one thought pattern that no longer serves you. Your life will reflect what you allow. When you choose to eliminate toxicity, you choose clarity over chaos, peace over noise, and growth over comfort. And in that choice, your life begins to breathe again, A life in order is not measured by how busy you are or how much you achieve, but by how aligned you feel with what gives your existence meaning. Without purpose, discipline becomes empty and success feels hollow. You can have structure, routines, and goals, yet still feel lost if you do not know why you are doing what you do. Purpose is the compass that gives direction to your effort, and gratitude is the anchor that keeps you grounded while you walk that path. Living with purpose means understanding that your life is bigger than your comfort. It is realizing that you are not created only to survive, but to contribute, to grow, and to leave something valuable behind. Purpose does not always arrive as a dramatic revelation. Often it is discovered through service, through responsibility, and through the decision to become useful. When you commit to something greater than yourself, your pain gains meaning and your struggles gain direction. Many people feel empty because they chase goals that do not belong to them. They pursue approval, status, or expectations imposed by others, and then wonder why achievement does not bring fulfillment. Purpose requires honesty. It asks you to listen to your inner voice. Instead of the noise of comparison, when your actions align with your values, even difficult days feel worthwhile. Order emerges when your life makes sense to you. Gratitude transforms the way you experience life. It does not deny hardship, it reframes it. When you practice gratitude, you stop living in constant lack and start recognizing what is already present. This shift changes your emotional state, your decisions, and your resilience. A grateful heart is not easily defeated because it understands that even in loss there is learning, and even in delay there is preparation. Purpose without gratitude leads to burnout. Gratitude without purpose leads to complacency. Together they create balance. Purpose pushes you forward. Gratitude keeps you from losing yourself along the way. When you wake up with intention and end your day with appreciation, your life gains rhythm and meaning. Order is no longer forced, it becomes natural. Living with purpose also means accepting that not every day will feel inspiring. There will be days when you doubt, when progress feels invisible, and when effort feels heavy. Gratitude sustains you in those moments. It reminds you how far you have come and why you started. It teaches you to celebrate small victories and to respect the process instead of rushing the outcome. A purposeful life demands responsibility. It asks you to show up even when no one is watching, and to act with integrity even when shortcuts are available. Gratitude strengthens this commitment because it keeps your ego in check. When you are grateful, you stop feeling entitled and start feeling entrusted. You treat your opportunities as gifts, not guarantees. Order in L. Este is deeply connected to meaning. When you know why you wake up, distractions lose their power. When you appreciate what you have, fear loses its grip. You stop chasing everything and start building something that matters. Purpose simplifies decisions, and gratitude softens the journey. Your life does not need to be perfect to be meaningful. It needs to be intentional. Each day is an opportunity to align your actions with your values and to recognize the blessings hidden in effort, discipline, and growth. When you live with purpose and gratitude, chaos no longer defines you. You move forward with clarity, humility, and strength, knowing that your life ordered from within is worth the work it requires.